Hello there, you're watching News at 6 on Rajya Sabha TV with me, Aishwarya Kapoor, and here are the latest headlines. At least 14 killed and 78 injured as Pakistan Taliban carries out bomb attacks in Lahore during Sunday mass. Violent protests break out in the area. West Bengal police continues to hunt for 3 men suspected of raping a 72-year-old nun in Nadia district. Fresh politics break out over law and order and security of women. Opposition parties stage protests against Land Acquisition Amendment Bill. Close ranks ahead of the bill entering the Rajya Sabha. Government says it is hopeful to get the bill through. Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal to return to the capital tomorrow after 10-day medical leave. Attending to an ailing party will be the immediate priority. And at the World Cup, West Indies and Pakistan win their crucial league matches to become the last 2 teams to qualify for this quarter-final stage. Today's top story: at least 14 people were killed in a twin suicide bomb attack near 2 churches in Lahore today. Over 78 people are also injured in the attacks. An offshoot of the Pakistan Taliban, Jamaatul Ahrar, has claimed responsibility for the deadly strikes, which sparked protest in the country. Now, angry mob lynched 2 suspects after the blast. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif condemned the religious attacks. Here is more.
Twin suicide bomb attacks outside packed churches rocked Pakistan's Lahore on Sunday. The blasts went off minutes apart in a majority Christian suburb in Lahore. Police said it seemed they targeted 2 churches that are very close to each other.
मैं अंदर की तरफ था, एक छोटा गेट होता ना वो खुला था, तो उसमें से एकदम आवाज़ आई, उसके साथ ही गेट उड़ गया और मैं एकदम ऐसे हुआ तो ये सारे निशान जो है ना, ये बूटियों के, कपड़ों पे खून के, और ये यहाँ तक मैं फिर भागदौड़ में लग गया सब.
Violent protests erupted after the blast, with large crowds already in the area to attend Sunday mass. An enraged mob lynched 2 suspects after the incident. An offshoot of Pakistan Taliban, Jamaatul Ahrar, has claimed responsibility for the attacks. Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif strongly condemned the attacks. He has given orders to tighten security and take all possible measures to protect minority communities. Nawaz Sharif faced protests in Karachi as members of Christian community blamed him over the security issues for minority communities. Sunday's attack was the worst on the community since a devastating double suicide bombing in the northwestern city of Peshawar in 2013 that killed 82 people. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, back home, West Bengal police has detained 8 people in connection with yesterday's gang rape of a 72-year-old nun as the hunt for the accused continues. Now, captured CCTV footage of the accused is being scanned as the probe continues. Now, signals emerged of the incident taking on political dimensions. Here is more.
The shock and horror grows as the brutality of the crime sinks in. Students of Nadia district staged a protest against the law and order situation in the state on Sunday. The gang rape victim, a 72-year-old nun, is now reported to be stable as she undergoes treatment in hospital.
We have approached our administration, so they have extended their all support, and they have promised that they will try to bring justice, and we want to catch the culprits.
CCTV footage shows 3 men believed to have attacked the 72-year-old nun and gang raped her. The manhunt is on, with police detaining 8 people and questioning several others.
এবং সরকারের তরফ থেকে এটা বলা হচ্ছে এত দ্বারা যে যারা এমন কোনো ইনফরমেশন আমাদেরকে দিতে পারবেন যার থেকে আমরা এদেরকে অ্যারেস্ট করতে পারব তাদেরকে ফর এ কারেক্ট ইনফরমেশন 1 লক্ষ টাকা রিওয়ার্ড দেওয়া হবে.
The West Bengal governor has stepped forward to condemn the attack and dipping security for women, appealing to the people to play their part with responsibility.
मैं अपील करता हूँ कि ऐसे अपराधियों के बारे में जो इस प्रकार के कृत्य करते हैं वो भी जानकारी देने का प्रयास करें, वो स्वयं भी अपने स्तर पर पता लगाने का प्रयास करें, क्योंकि कभी कभी होता है इधर उधर खड़े खड़े मोहल्लों में मालूम हो जाता है कि कौन अपराधी क्या है, तो इस प्रकार के अपराधियों को ट्रेस करने के लिए वो भी सहायता करें और एक वातावरण बनाए कि इस प्रकार की अब घटनाएं न हो।
Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee had initiated a CID probe hours after the crime was reported on Sunday, promising swift and strong action. The local administration had termed the attack heinous. A day later, political voices have emerged slamming the state government on the law and order situation.
I mean, this is not only an inhuman act, not only on a sister or a nun, but on all of India, of all of humanity. I certainly hope, pray, and I'm confident that those who have perpetrated this dastardly crime on a 73-year-old nun, they will be brought to book in the shortest time.
ये दिखलाता है कि भारत में महिलाओं के प्रति जो असुरक्षा की भावना उनके मन में बढ़ रही है और महिलाओं के प्रति जो सम्मान की भावना घट रही है, उसके बीच में सख्त कानूनों की जरूरत है।
It's such a shameful thing, and that too, a nun being, elderly nun being tortured in this manner. I just hope that the police does its very best.
The nun gang rape incident comes on the back of a spurt in reports of crimes against women in West Bengal over the last year. A situation where state government has been pulled into the dock. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And in other news, as the government readies for a possible tabling of the contentious Land Acquisition Amendment Bill in the Rajya Sabha this week, now outside Parliament, it's been a flurry of protests against it by the opposition parties. After the JDU's Nitish Kumar's day-long fast yesterday, RJD chief Lalu Yadav staged a protest march in Patna today.
Another Bihar political stalwart takes to the streets decrying the centre's policies. This one comes a day after Chief Minister Nitish Kumar's fast. Lalu Yadav too focuses on what he calls the anti-farmer land bill that cleared the Lok Sabha last week but faces a far tougher time in the upper house.
नरेंद्र मोदी ने चुनाव में कहा था कि 26.5 लाख करोड़ जमा विदेशों में जमा काला धन लाके 15.5 लाख रुपया हम हर भारतीय के जमा करेंगे 1 महीना में। सागर हो गया, कहीं आता पता नहीं। 2 करोड़ नौजवानों को कहा था नौकरी देना, नौकरी नहीं दिया, उल्टा बंद कर दिया। किसानों को जमीन का हड़प रहा है, इसलिए मार्च है।
And that's just one end of the opposition the land bill faces. Congress workers marching from Bhatta Parsol against the bill are also to reach Rajghat late on Sunday. Congress, NCP, TMC and SP have already made their stand clear by voting against the bill in the Lok Sabha and are likely to stay united in the Rajya Sabha as well.
हम सब लोगों का लक्ष्य भूमि अधिग्रहण विधेयक को रोकना है। जो बदला हुआ उसका स्वरूप है वो कॉर्पोरेट के पक्ष में है और किसानों के विरुद्ध है। ये लड़ाई हमारी जारी रहेगी जब तक ये विधेयक वापस नहीं होता।
So the way things stand right now, the land bill is almost certain to raise strong voices when it comes up in the upper house. As the opposition looks to keep its ranks united against the bill, the Treasury benches are out to allay the anti-farmer tag attached to it.
Land acquisition bill, there was much debate. But now with 9 amendments, the concerns of farmers all have been taken care, made very clear in the bill. And now there is no doubt, and there should be no doubt in anybody's mind, because Modi government is all about rural, poor and farmers. I am sure that that bill also will be passed in Rajya Sabha.
Under the rules, the Land Acquisition Amendment Bill has to be cleared by both houses by the 5th of April, failing which it will have to be repromulgated to exist as an ordinance, which in effect means the government has only till March 20th to get the bill through the Rajya Sabha, the last date before it goes on a month-long break. Given the opposition, it's a huge ask. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha Television.
And row over Delhi police visit to Rahul Gandhi's residence to seek personal details is likely to escalate when Parliament reopens tomorrow. Political parties continue to question the Delhi police security drill, terming the questionnaire as objectionable. Congress continues to demand a clarification from Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Home Minister Rajnath Singh, accusing the centre of snooping on Rahul Gandhi. Other opposition parties like NCP and JDU also raised objections. However, the ruling BJP and Delhi police continue continue to assure that it was just a routine check on the parliamentarians for security purpose. The decades-old pro forma will now also be reinvented, as Delhi police termed some of these questions to be irrelevant.
BJP's statement is irrelevant in this context and nobody takes it seriously. But what happened is a serious matter according to our assessment, and we want an explanation from the government side on this.
कांग्रेस अगर ओवर रिएक्ट कर रही है तो भाजपा को भी अंडर रिएक्ट नहीं करना चाहिए। जो प्रश्नावली पूछी गई है वो ऑब्जेक्शनेबल है और वो सांसदों के जो विशेषाधिकार हैं उसका हनन।
See, it's a routine police procedure which they are overreacting to it. So I think Congress has lost the plot and they have bereft of any issue.
And Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal will return to the national capital tomorrow after completing his 10-day therapy in Bengaluru today. He is said to have been cured of his chronic cough. He will be returning to Delhi when his Aam Aadmi Party is battling its worst internal crisis, causing widespread dismay in its rank as well as file. Take a look.
Aam Aadmi Party leaders are eagerly awaiting the return of Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal from Bengaluru to put out the fires of dissidence that has been raging in his absence. From Yogendra Yadav and Prashant Bhushan's ouster to the spate of sting operations, Kejriwal will have his hands full when he resumes work. He will return fit from his 10-day naturopathy treatment in Bengaluru on Monday without his trademark chronic cough.
He has completed his 10 days he's completing it by today evening. In terms of his problems, we have been able to address it in the best possible manner. His cough, which was persistent and very chronic, that has almost completely gone away.
Kejriwal had skipped the crucial national executive meeting which voted out Yadav and Bhushan amid protest. Since then, Aam Aadmi Party leaders Anjali Damania has quit and Mayank Gandhi has threatened to step down. There have been a couple of sting operations that claims Aam Aadmi Party leaders were involved in horse trading before the Delhi Assembly polls. Both sting operations purportedly have Kejriwal's voice. A former Congress MLA Asif Mohammad Khan has threatened to come out with more sting operations against Kejriwal in coming days.
हम जल्दी कर देंगे, आपको हम यकीन दिला रहे हैं। देखिए, आप इसका थोड़ा सा सब्र कीजिए और हर चीज वक्त पे ही सही रहती है, उसको हम रिलीज करेंगे।
Asif Mohammad Khan claims his next sting will also have Kejriwal and Sanjay Singh in it. He has claimed that Manish Sisodia was also involved in Aam Aadmi Party's attempt to poach Congress leaders to get an edge ahead of the Delhi Assembly polls. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
All right, we'll take a very short break here. Coming up ahead, Prime Minister Narendra Modi to skip Brussels during his Europe visit next month. That and much more after a short break. Stay with us.
सभा टेलीविजन की खास श्रृंखला महामहिम राज्यपाल में आपका स्वागत है।
आज हमारे दिव्य देश में प्रजातंत्र सुखदायी, प्रजातंत्र का काम प्रजा की होती रहे भलाई। तो प्रजातंत्र के माध्यम से सत्ता में आने के बाद प्रजा की भलाई के बारे में कौन सोचता है? मेरा जीवन विरोधाभास से भरा रहा है। जो मैंने सोचा था वो हुआ नहीं और जो नहीं सोचा था वो हुआ।
महामहिम राज्यपाल में इस बार हरियाणा के राज्यपाल कप्तान सिंह सोलंकी से मुलाकात सिर्फ राज्यसभा टेलीविजन पर।
In the Maths Factor, we travel through time and space and see how maths has evolved and how it is a part of the world around us. Join us on Rajya Sabha Television. Watch the Maths Factor every Sunday at 8 AM.
Welcome back. And now Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned to New Delhi late last night after a 3-nation tour of Seychelles, Maldives and Sri Lanka. During his 2-day Sri Lanka visit, the first by an Indian Prime Minister in 28 years, India and Sri Lanka signed 4 agreements besides a host of other announcements aimed at resetting ties between the two countries. The Prime Minister is due to leave for France and Germany in the second week of April. The visit may also be combined with a travel to Canada. Now, a planned visit to Belgium during this tour has been shelved resolved after the EU did not reply to India's proposal on the visit. Now, many EU countries are unhappy with Brussels being dropped from the tour, seen as a lost opportunity for the India-EU ties. Time now for some other stories from across the nation in Nationwide. After days of lull, Pakistan once again violated the ceasefire in Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistani Rangers fired on a forward post in Arispura sector last night. However, there is no report of casualty or any damage reported in the firing. The Delhi government has ordered all taxi operators to install GPS in their vehicles to ensure safety and security of women in the national capital. The decision now will be enforced on all types of taxis. The failure to install GPS will lead to non-issuance of fitness certificates to the taxi operators. And the decision comes a month after a 25-year-old woman was allegedly raped by a driver enlisted with the Uber cab service in December last year. The monorail services in Mumbai were disrupted today due to power failure. Services between Mysore Place and Bhakti Park on the Vadala-Chembur line were suspended for 3 hours. 11 passengers who were left stranded by the incident were evacuated with the help of fire brigade. Now, Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis has ordered an inquiry into the incident. Noted Gandhian and former Chancellor of Gujarat Vidyapeeth Narayan Desai died in Surat today. He was 90 years of age. Desai was in coma since 10th of December last year. Prime Minister Narendra Modi was among the leaders who offered condolences on Desai's demise. World's first solar-powered aircraft will land in Varanasi tonight. The aircraft, which arrived in Ahmedabad last week, was supposed to fly for Varanasi on Thursday, but due to cloudy weather conditions, the plane could not take off. The solar aircraft is on its maiden round-the-world trip, the first of its kind. And on to some international news. Well, Iran and United States will begin a fresh round of nuclear talks today to nail a comprehensive accord ahead of the March deadline. U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry and Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif reached Lausanne for the decisive round of talks. EU Foreign Policy Chief and head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran will also take part in the discussions. Kerry said that the aim was to get the right deal. Following the talks, Zarif will leave for Brussels on Monday, where he will hold further talks with his German, French and UK counterparts. Iran and 6 world powers, namely US, Russia, China, Britain, France and Germany, are looking for an agreement on the nuclear deal by 31st of March this year and to fine-tune the details by 1st of July this year. And more international stories and updates in our special segment, Global Buzz. At least 42 people have been killed as a tourist bus lost control and tumbled down a 400-meter ravine in southern Brazil. Now, 6 survivors were pulled out from the wreckage and taken to hospital. The cause of the accident has not been determined. However, police said that it appeared that the brakes on the bus had failed as it took a bend. The bus was headed to Joinville in Santa Catarina, which is a mountain tourism destination. The death toll after Cyclone Pam hit Vanuatu in Pacific Islands is now up to 10. Cyclone Pam razed homes, smashed boats and washed away roads and bridges as it hit the island with speeds of more than 300 kilometers per hour. Australia has announced a support of $5 million for relief and rehabilitation work. The Vatican has justified violence against the Islamic State, saying that force is necessary to stop attacks on Christians and other minorities if no political solution is found. Archbishop Silvano Tomasi said jihadists are committing genocide and they must be stopped. He, however, added that a coordinated and well-thought-of solution is needed to do everything possible to achieve a political settlement without violence. And we'll take a very short break here. Coming up ahead, the lineup for the World Cup 2015 is final. We tell you who faces who in the knockout stage. Stay with us.
India's star shining in global affairs.
The professional army of any country does not have faith, piety and jihad in the name of God.
From regional power to assertive global leader.
Sri Lanka denies that these violations took place.
We want India to be a superpower. We have been doing everything for decades and we have been giving to India everything best we have.
Experts debate the nation's foreign policy.
We should not have any political preference of ours so far as Nepal is concerned.
Taliban were the creatures of Pakistan. Whatever people may say, they were created by Pakistan.
India's World with Bharat Bhushan on Rajya Sabha Television.
Hello and a warm welcome to our special report, the program that brings you a ground zero view from whichever part of the country the Rajya Sabha TV cameras are travelling. It is the same village where the Telangana agitation actually began. We at Rajya Sabha TV bring you the first pictures of the landfall site. This is the main nerve centre where the legal battle for the Kaveri water dispute began. When you are moving around this Niyamgiri hill area, there are 41 streams like these which you have to cross.
No one understands India better than we do. Watch special report only on Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. On to cricket now, and West Indies and Pakistan comfortably won their last group matches to get into the World Cup quarter-finals today. Now, West Indies defeated UAE by 6 wickets to ensure a place in the last 8. Also, Pakistan romped home with a 7-wicket win over Ireland in a must-win match for them.
West Indies have made it to the World Cup quarter-finals on Sunday after an easy win over UAE at Napier. West Indies had to win the match to stay in the hunt. Their bowlers restricted UAE for a paltry 175 runs. Jerome Taylor and captain Jason Holder were the pick of the bowlers, sharing 7 wickets between them. They crushed the top and the middle order of UAE before half-centuries from Amjad Javed and Nasir Aziz helped the team to get past the 100-run mark. In reply, West Indies wrapped up the match with 6 wickets and 20 overs to spare. Johnson Charles and Jonathan Carter scored half-centuries to ensure 8 points to the 2-time world champions. Despite the win, West Indies had to rely on the outcome of the last group match between Pakistan and Ireland for a quarter-final berth. A washout would have allowed the two teams to get away with 1 point each and edge out West Indies. Ireland posted a total of 237 runs with the help of a century by opener William Porterfield.
He'll get his century here.
But Pakistan displayed an improved performance with a bat during their chase. Openers Ahmed Shehzad and Sarfaraz Ahmed put up a 120-run first-wicket partnership. Sarfaraz Ahmed remained unbeaten with a century to help Pakistan ensure a place in the knockout stage. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And the World Cup will now move to the business end as the knockout stage begins from Wednesday. The lineup is now clear after the end of all the group matches. Well, all the top teams have made it to the last 8, barring England, who crashed out after a shocking loss against Bangladesh. Well, in the first of the quarterfinals, South Africa will take on Sri Lanka on Wednesday at the Sydney Cricket Ground. And the team that is Sri Lanka is looking for their second World Cup against the Proteas, who have never failed to reach that stage. Well, in the second quarter-final, India will take on Bangladesh at the Melbourne Cricket Ground on Thursday, while Dhoni's men will look to keep an unbeaten record intact. Bangladesh will play its first ever knockout match in the World Cup's history. And the third quarter-finals will feature hosts Australia and Pakistan. The match will take place on Friday at the Adelaide Oval. Pakistan will be looking to emulate their success when the World Cup was last played down under in 1992. The last of the quarterfinals will see hosts New Zealand take on West Indies in Wellington on Saturday. New Zealand has so far remained unbeaten like India and are firm favourites to reach the last 4. Well, that's it from me and my team in News at 6. Thanks for watching.